Today we're going to put the Excelion 2000 from its box and into an operational use. So the first thing to do is obviously start to remove the contents. The handle has to be assembled with the various different components, as you can see. It's possible to turn this machine from right hand into left hand by removing a screw in the trigger handle, pulling the aluminium tube slightly out and turning and then replacing back and reinserting the bolt ready for operation. So having now changed it to left hand, we're going to put it back to right hand again with the tool that comes in the box with the implement itself. So that's the handlebar out, ready for assembly. We're now going to take the rest of the components out of the box, starting with the blade guard, the cable to attach to the battery, the tool, most importantly operational book, the grease which comes with the unit and needs to be put into the angle gearbox when we finish assembly, and then the main tool itself, which as you can see comes with the gearbox on the end and everything ready to go just for the handle to be assembled. So now to install the handle, take the trigger end, put the plastic adapter into the handle with the cable through, make sure it fits correctly and the wire is not pinched or snagged. Then join the second half of the handle, just an easy push fit. Remove the locking case for the handlebar by simply unscrewing the orange knob. Take the black cover off the top, find the cable, fit the handlebar into the slot, connect the electrical connector and make sure it fits back in the housing without causing any snags. Replace the black cover and the clamp. So that's the first stage of putting the Excelion 2000 together. Next, as the unit comes with a choice of heads, the next thing to do is to fit the head onto the unit and also grease and install the cover. So the choice we've gone for today is the tap cut head. To install the tap cut head, you first have to undo the head, the cap, and remove the inner section to allow you to get to the nut and washer that is required to install it onto the end of the unit. At this point you can turn the Excelion 2000 over, standing it on its handlebars, which is completely safe for this unit and makes it easier for you to do the changeover, and then you can start to install the head. So having turned it over ready to install the head, the first thing to do is to put the safety cover on. So this is fitted easily with the 4 screws which are already in the aluminium angle gear. It is important to make sure that this cover is always kept on the unit for a health and safety point of view. So never operate the machine if it doesn't have a safety cover. So the first thing to do is to make sure the double D drive on the angle gear matches with the head to ensure that there is a friction there when we actually go to operate. Push down clicks, fit the securing spring washer and then the left-handed nut. To get this to work, the best thing to do is to use a screwdriver or something similar to lock from underneath the head to make sure it doesn't turn, and then you can finish using the supplied spanner to lock the head onto the gearbox. So that's the base part fitted now. The next section to do is to fit the tap cut head onto the top of it, which is the part which holds the spool of wire, and its locking plate. And that's it, locked in place, and you can tell as he turns and the ratchet sound is making. Now, having fitted the head to the Excelion 2000, the next job to do is to make sure that the gearbox is full of grease. The grease is supplied with the machine and it's imperative that you put that in. So having fitted the head, we're turning the machine back over now to actually make sure the gearbox is full with grease. This is an annual job, but obviously if you are a heavy user, then it's best to keep an eye and make sure that there is always sufficient grease in the gearbox. So having filled with grease, put the grease screw back in, make sure it's tight, and now we're ready to load the spool with wire. So now we have the Excelion 2000 wire, which is a twisted wire. This particular version is 3mm. We also have 2.4. This is a specially designed wire that PaELLENC use because it gives you the best aerodynamic cutting that you can have, which reduces the power consumption of the battery. So we don't use a normal smooth wire that you find elsewhere. This is a twisted wire. Now to load the unit, the best thing to do is to cut your desired length of cable off. Turn the center knob so that it lines up with the two arrows. And then feed the cable from both holes in the side. So from left and right. You'll find when you push it in there, it will grip and hold it rigid. You do the same on the other side. Push it in until it holds firm. So we've now inserted both the ends into the reel, and the secret now is just to keep turning and load the wire. Having loaded the wire, you cut in the center and you're ready to start the operation. So the final adjustments are made, as you can see, but the cutter built into the cover will make sure that the cable is no longer than is required to fit inside the safety cover. This is important because this will avoid any debris being thrown towards the operator or bystanders or risk any injury elsewhere.